That's not an accident. There was intention there. We just have to find out what they were looking to do. So we find out what that motivation is, and then we have a value prop. Why should they meet with us? How can we get them off the couch watching Netflix and eating bonbons and change their routine where they'd actually want to come and physically meet with us? So we have a value proposition of why they should. And then we want to set firm appointments 24 to 48 hours within the first time that we talk to them. 70% of people go with the first agent they meet. Let that be you, right? So we teach that, and then we have a whole process from tracking appointment set to appointment met. Appointment met, we do our buyer consultation. Then we talk about the buyer agency stuff like we talked about before. And then we show them houses. No showings unless you do this whole process first. Because what happens is you go from calls to showings and you're so excited that, the house sucks, then you suck. And you didn't provide any value the whole time, so why should they call you back, right?
Yeah.
So then we do showings and we have a whole thing. That's what I'm going to be training on today. And then top 10 ways to structure your offer for success. And then it's all just rinse and repeat. So I train each step of that process.
Did you read that, Jen, real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So now you know. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Mike and Jake Show. I'm Mike. I'm here with Jason Giomboni and Jake Arnold, my co-host here. And today we're going to talk to Jason, man. Jason's he's an associate broker for eXp. He's got rental units. He runs a network out in Scranton. You still do that network event up there?
Yeah. NEPA Investment Club.
Yep. So that's that one. And matter of fact, I remember at one of the meetings you were talking about syndication also.
Yeah.
Is that something you're going to still do, or you're just thinking?
Yeah, with that, I'm kind of putting my toe in the water. I kind of just did some private money into another deal that's like, I think it was 25 units down in Missouri that I invested in just to kind of learn the ropes and see how that's going to go. So I got my first nickel into it, so we'll see how it goes
You'll
from
see
there.
what happens.
Yeah, now it's something that's definitely on the radar for. I'm hoping for 2025 to put a fund together, but we'll see how it goes.
Jason, you were an LP in that fund down in Missouri?
Yeah.
Okay. And you want to put together your own fund at some point?
Yeah, collect some cash. But, what really just makes me nervous about it is I want to make sure I do everything on the up and up, If once you start collecting other people's money, the target, the eye in the sky becomes a lot bigger on you. So I want to make sure I do it the right way.
Yeah, it's a different ball game, and we know some people that actually do that. I could introduce you to them too.
No, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, but how about we're jumping right into the middle of you. Can you give let's just tell us about your story. Were you always in the real estate? Did you have another job before you started in real estate, or just let's hear about it.
So I was an IT nerd for over 15 years. That's how I got started. When I was in college, I was 24, just about ready to finish up, and my girlfriend at the time and my wife now, she's like, "Hey, we're pregnant." I'm like, oh, "Fuck, I gotta get a job."
That's always scary. I'm pregnant.
Yeah, one of those. So I'm like, okay. So I was going for computers. I ended up working my way up the ranks there, and then I got a job for OSE North America. Now it's called Canon bought us out. It was a Dutch company, but I pretty much covered half the country for them. So I covered Chicago East. So I'd be flying all over the damn place, setting up, like the big machines that you see. You go to the movie theater, you see the big printout of Superman on the thing. I'd be setting up the machines that print on that stuff, like those big flat.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. We did all kinds of awesome stuff with that, but it was just a ton of travel. And I had young kids and stuff like that, and a lot of time on the road. My round trip radius just driving was like from here to Buffalo and back, and most of Pennsylvania too. So I'd be in Pittsburgh, all over the damn place, which was cool because it was a lot of windshield time. But I'd be listening to podcasts and all radio stations and stuff like that, and it was. I kind of got into Dave Ramsey, and then I, just try to get my financial. I was 27 at the time, Jake's age. So I'm like, I got to just get my ducks in the row financially, and then I start getting into the Kiyosaki's and stuff like that, and I started, I buy my own investment properties. And then I couldn't get an agent to show me a house. So I'm like, oh, screw it, I'll go get my own license. But the first duplex I ever bought was directly across the street from my house. The worst investment that I ever bought. And I bought it off my parents. They ripped me off, I think. I didn't know what I didn't know. So
Yeah.
there was nobody in there. Was it
Did the owner
winterized?
finance you?
What's that?
Did they
Yeah, he
hold the
owner
note?
financed me. It was my first deal.
You
Wow.
see, everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
All our guests are like, my first one was owner finance. But so they
Yeah.
robbed you? Were they charging you 12% interest, or
No, no,
you
no,
overpaid?
no interest, which was good. But it was one of those things like the Dave Ramsey thing where it's like Thanksgiving dinner is not fun when you owe people money. So I was like, you
Yeah.
know, but when I bought the thing, like they never winterized it. Nobody was there. I had to renovate both sides, so it was just a great learning experience. The pipes were busted, had knob and tube wiring. There was holes in the roof leaking, and I'm like, the hell did I get myself into? My wife's ready to choke me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Now you're
oh,
not helping anything.
no, no, yeah. So, and it's right across the street, so it's like there's nowhere to hide too. So it was always, doing the legwork on that. But finally got that one stabled, got one side rented out, and once you saw the rent checks coming in, it was, it was a beautiful thing. So from that first one, bought it with cash, paid him off immediately with all the rent. So I paid him back super quick with it because we're getting about, like, at that time it was like $800, $1,600 for rent. I would just keep loading them up until I paid him off and just giving him big chunks of cash when I could. I hated owing him money, man. It's just one of
Yeah.
those things. He wasn't hard on me or anything like that to pay him back, but it was just one of those things where I'm like, oh man, I just didn't like that over my
Yeah,
my
he's got
shoulder.
one on you, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. It's one of these like, oh yeah, you're going on vacation.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where's my cheddar? Where's my spread here?
But,
So, so I got that one, and then because I bought it with cash, I cashed out, refied it, and pulled all that money back, and I took a home equity line out on my personal property to do the renovations on both sides. So paid all that back, and everything was. I probably had another maybe 50K left over, and then I ended up buying two more, and then it kind of just snowballed from there. Just buying twos and fours, and then an 8 unit, and just keep growing every year, just buying more and more.
so and that was before you got your license?
So I bought the first three of them without my license, and then I'm like, I traveling so much for my job. I'm like, I could just get my license and then I could go see anything that hits the MLS and try to get the inside edge. And I saw
Sure.
stuff pop up, and then miraculously it'd be gone because I couldn't get in there. And I'm like, well, if I want to start picking up these deals, I need like that inside track, right? So
Sure.
I'm like, all right, I'll get my license, and then as soon as something hits, I can just go see it myself. And that was the plan, man. I didn't really have any idea of like growing a team or becoming a broker or anything like that, starting a property management company. It wasn't like that. It was just like, it all started with, just the agent that I had, which just wasn't great and couldn't get me in. And everything just snowballed.
And
Yeah.
you went straight EXP, or did you go to a bigger firm and learn first, or
So no, I actually went to a small, like, little mom and pop shop, and I think I got licensed May of 2018, and then yeah, May of 17 or 18, and then then I joined EXP pretty much within
great
6 months from there, and I've been with the company ever since. I think they have 90,000 agents. I think I was agent like 4,000 or something like that with
wow.
the company. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not that old, is it?
No,
Like,
it's not. I guess it's not.
no.
No, it's like one or two in the world now. They're opening. Like, I was just over in Spain for our EXP conference over there, and they're opening Egypt and Korea and Japan and all these like huge countries, and it's like, man, I remember when it was like a handful of us, So it's pretty wild to see what they're doing. It's
I mean,
cool company to do.
you guys do have a big network, you know. When I guess the person I said before is in your downline, probably, right? My
So, not directly in mine,
not
but yeah, they have like a revenue share thing where we're uplines and downlines, and sometimes people get confused on all that kind of stuff. If you want to recruit people into the company, as a thank you, out of EXP's commission split, then they'll throw you like a profit share, a revenue share bonus
Yeah.
every year that the person's with the company up until they cap. So say if you're an agent and you hit your cap, I might be able to get like $2,800 from eXp every year that you cap. If you half cap, then you get half that. You know what I mean?
But still,
So
that adds up if you have,
yeah,
because your line is just straight across, right? It doesn't go. It doesn't.
no, it goes down,
Oh, does
down
it?
seven different levels. So
Oh,
anybody
so
that say if I brought you in, Mike, and then you bring in Jake, you'd get paid on Jake. I'd get paid on Jake, and that all comes from
I
eXp.
wouldn't
So
even want to work anymore. I'm just trying to get people to.
dude, there's crazy people that in the company that all they do is just recruit, and they have these organizations that they call it, where they're making hundreds of grand a month just on the revenue share aspect.
Shit.
Yeah. I
I
wish
think it.
I wish I thought of it when I was started. Freaking Agent 4000. I just started growing
Yeah,
my team a couple years ago. I'm like, damn, I missed a fucking
and you
boat
have
on
a
this.
strong. You have a strong team. You're associate broker. I mean, that's all a lot since 2000. What, 18? You said, or 17? Or
Yeah,
I mean,
2000,
you're flying.
2008. Yeah, 2018, and then I got my broker's license maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And then I was just a solo agent, just doing my own thing, buying my own properties, and then I was just working with investors. That was it. Helping them find properties, and then from doing my own stuff, I had boots on the ground for them. So I had a pretty good value add prop for them. Like if you need any electricians, plumbers, handyman, contractors, lenders, lawyers, whatever you need, I already have it because I was using it for them.
Yeah, you
And
got
they
a
say,
team.
hey, yeah, it's the same people that I'm using for all my stuff. I'll give you, they can do all your stuff, and it kind of just blew up from there. And then the team, I kind of had a, version one, version two, version three. Like, so out of the last 5 years, I've been the top 3% called like an icon agent at eXp. So I was just too busy to do it myself. And, just kind of referring business out and not kind of running it like a business. And then now, like the last year, it's kind of been, okay, make it more of a business. And now I have 22 agents on the team, and we're really hitting the ground running, man. So super pumped to see where we go. We want to be number one in the state and then number one in the country.
Well,
Go. Let's
that's
do it.
yeah. Let's do it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
might get my license.
Dude, get your license. Like I said, I always tell investors are always asking me, should I get it? Should I get it? I go, you buy two houses a year. One covers your dues and all your fees for the year. The other one's just straight profit.
Yeah.
So you don't have to make a career out of it. But
No,
then,
I just need someplace to hang my license.
yeah,
You know what I mean? To be honest with you, if it could get me in and find some deals, I don't even know because I really need land at this point. But
yeah.
I am looking to start buying some rental properties and some other stuff. And I mean, do you come across a lot of flips on the MLS?
Yeah, there's always opportunities. So what a lot of my clients would all search for is either something that's bank owned or under a certain price point. Anything that under 150 grand, or anything REO or bank owned properties, and then you can search the different MLSs. The MLSs around here, it's not kind of like I call it like a dysfunctional family. You got Luzerne, you got Scranton, you got Pike Wayne, Pocono, and they're kind of like not friendly, but friendly. They kind of work together because they
Yeah,
have to, but all their stuff isn't kind of jiving.
yeah. Scranton's tough, right? I think it's Scranton, or so they're all separate.
Yeah, they're all separate, but we
And
kind of
I don't get it. I just think it should be Northeast PA and have like an area and say, hey, because
yeah,
when I want to buy something, they're like, well, I gotta talk to somebody over there, or
yeah.
we just can't get on there.
It's tough because say if you're looking for places in Scranton, so I could set you up in the Luzerne County MLS for stuff, but then I have to set you up in the Scranton one because if I list in my primary like MLS is Luzerne County, it only if you're not searching in Luzerne County and it's the properties located in Scranton, that won't show up on your feed. So you have to specifically search in that. So I'm a member of Scranton and Luzerne. MLS is just for, if I have stuff in Lackawanna County, I'll just put it in that MLS. So then that way it gets more exposure.
So did becoming an agent help you find more deals? Because you have 31 units now. I'm not sure if you said that or said that before we started recording,
Yeah.
but you have 31 units now. Did being an agent help you find those acquisitions?
Yeah, it's one of the greatest things that it's a great advantage and a great edge. Why? Because you see everything new that hits every day, And if you're in the weeds every day, these deals are going to stick out like sore thumbs. So I usually throw them to all my clients first, like, hey man, look at this thing. I think it's a sweet deal. And if they don't want it, then I'll grab it and I'll tell them, I'm like, look at man, I'm buying it if you don't buy it. And they're like, I got a 4 unit in Pittston. I had clients that were under contract for it. I'm like, you could get this down. There was some repairs that needed to be done. I'm like, I told the guy, they're like, we're walking. I'm like, I'm buying this thing if you guys walk. It's a smoking deal. So I ended up getting it for 200 grand cash, and it was all separate utilities, an
Oh,
awesome money maker. Yes.
that's
So
a key.
yeah. The 8 unit that I got that was on the MLS. I threw it to all my guys. I'm like, dude, this thing is not marketed correctly. I'm like, I walked it. It says it's a 5 unit and it's an 8 unit. I picked up an 8 unit for 225 grand like a few years ago. Needed a ton of work. I don't know if you saw my stuff with the. I had hair like you when I started it. But
Ooh, like me?
yeah, the fire escape and all this crap that I had, the zoning and basically, yeah, it was an 8 unit. When I went through it, there was like freaking heroin syringes on the floor. I'm like, Jesus, what
I
am I?
love them apartments.
Yeah, yeah. But the place, it looks like a freaking castle. I'm like, man, this place is sweet, And I'm like counting the units while I'm going through because it was kind of like a maze. And I'm like, man, there's 8 of them here. I'm like,
Yeah.
how come? He's like, well, we didn't list these other ones. I'm like, yeah, I'm buying it today. I'm like, yeah.
Well, what were the zoning issues and stuff that you ran into when you bought that?
So So basically, there was a giant aluminum like spiral staircase that was just left in the yard, and it was like on tires. And I'm like, so I couldn't the top third floor units. I couldn't get them legal until I get this fire escape up. So it was like,
Yes, didn't we meet someone at the meetup?
yeah,
And I said,
yeah,
"Hey, Jason, this guy right here, he could do it." I don't know if he ever did it
yeah.
for you, but
I finally got my guys to complete it. So basically, I'm like, I had to track down the architect that originally got the zoning approved for it, and put the design work because now I got to put Humpty Dumpty together again. I just have the
yeah.
spiral, but I didn't have the catwalk. So now I have to find somebody that could build like a customized catwalk for this thing, and it has to be metal or aluminum, and it has to be exactly to spec and all that kind of stuff. So I got a guy in Wilkes-Barre that did an awesome job with it. But then you have to like, it was just a mess. But then the zoning expired, so then I had to go back for the appeals and the non-conforming use and show them what I had and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was just it was a project.
It sounds like a good learning experience. It sounds
Oh
like
yeah, everything is, and that's why I say I'm grateful for. But even with the one that I had with my parents, I learned construction. I learned what to look for in houses. Same thing with that. It's like, okay, now I know how to deal with architects, how to deal with zoning boards, going in front of them and presenting what you need to do, to make it happen. It's like, you know, I want to do it the right way, like you said. So
So
yeah,
you're really as as a realtor or associate broker, you know how to handle investors. And I know when I call a realtor, and if I just don't like the ones that are they're not investor friendly. They have no clue, right?
yeah,
I run across this a lot. So do you teach the people under you how to be
yeah.
investor friendly?
I literally just had I call it a master class in investing. So we go over everything, how to do value add, under market rents, what you should expect for rent. So then that way, a guy like you guys call, you sound professional. You sound like you know what you're
Sure.
talking about. Because if you're talking about cash flow, you're talking about cap rate, you're talking about NOI, all this kind of stuff, and it's crickets to the agent. They're going to find somebody that knows what they're talking about. So we
Y- y-
go deep down into the weeds on all of that stuff. So then that way, like I said, we have a lot of outside New York, New Jersey investors coming in state, buying stuff up cheap. You know, if you could speak the lingo and you have boots on the ground for these guys, you're going to stick out like sore thumbs, and they're the best clients. It's not like Joe and Susie that if
Yeah.
the kitchen needs a remodel or whatever, they're like, I don't know, the bathroom's pink. These, I always say it's like Sal from the Bronx. If the numbers work, we're good to go.
Yep. It is all about the numbers.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing that cannot be not fixed. But sometimes, like you said, investors get it. First time home buyers and stuff like that, maybe not so much.
No, they don't get it.
so.
No.
Jason, it sounds like you primarily work with investors in the agent side of your business.
Yeah, not too many. I'll refer out like the first time home buyers, unless it's friends and family, and then I'll work with them directly. But other than that, I'll just refer them out to the team to handle. But investors, that's pretty much all I do anymore. Yep.
So are you working with the new wholesale law? Can you wholesale through your company or you're not?
EXP frowns on the wholesaling
Same.
stuff, so we're not allowed to do it. However, we could represent the purchaser of a wholesale property. We can't represent the seller of a wholesale property, if that makes sense, or any kind of assignment fee for that. So, and I get where they're coming from with it. If Mike, I come up to you and say, "Hey, your house is worth 150," I can put it on
Mhm.
the market for that, and then I have an assignment fee and say it's worth 200. They don't want any of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But say if Mike, you're my client, and I'm going to represent you to buy that place for 200 or whatever. We could do that.
Do you work mostly with buyers or sellers?
Right now, it's just strictly listings, unless it's my investors buying multifamily stuff. So, just trying to leverage my time out. Listings are for leverage. So once you have the listing, then you kind of have it, put it up on the MLS. Buyers are a lot more of a time spend. Some investors are a lot more time heavy. Like, hey, go do a video walkthrough of this house. Do a video walkthrough of that house. It's like easy, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, I have people on the team that will go out and we do video walkthroughs of them all the time. We have a Google Drive or YouTube channel that will share out private links to the video walkthroughs for. But for the most part, my business right now is just growing the team out and handling listings, and then a handful of investor clients that I've been working with.
Yeah. So you get way more leverage if you just have listings.
Yeah. I mean, they say list to last. I mean, buyers, you're always going out showings. I mean, that's a big time commitment. Um, right. At first, I was taking anything that I could get my hands on, but now, as I've been doing it so often, I can kind of cherry pick on, if it's friends and family, absolutely, I'll help them all day long. But I'm not really taking on new buyer clients that are looking to go out and see houses.
Well, have you seen anything change with the Department of Justice lawsuit, the buyer commission? Have you seen anything actually materialize so far?
No. So part of the process that I train on, some people are all kind of, oh man, what's going to happen with this, right? I think it's one of the greatest opportunities that we have. So the way that we train it is not to be a commodity, right? Agents that can't provide value probably aren't going to make it in this business anymore because of that lawsuit. And here's why. It's like, if I go out and I show Mike a house and the house stinks, I think I stink, right? But if I educate and inform Mike on the whole process, hey, here's the whole buying process, here's how deposits work, here's how inspections work, here's how appraisals work. We have all kinds of guarantees that we have on our team that no other brokerage or team are offering, and then I can set you up with a customized home search, all that kind of stuff. And then here's the three types of buyer agency contracts, Jake. So then that way we're not sitting here signing a contract on the hood of our car like a goof, and it's freaking raining or snowing out in our area, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I want to make sure that you're 100% comfortable on what you're signing. So I'm not like, here, sign this so I could show you a house, right? Some people just do that and it's like, oh, here, you need to sign this. And it's like, well, why? And it just starts the relationship off on like a conflict, or maybe the trust isn't there. So we like to bring people in. We do a buyer consultation with them, explain all the process, like I said, and then explain all the contracts with the buyer agency. So then that way they're 100% comfortable signing before we go see any houses.
So you're educating them and
Yeah,
creating some value before you even make them
Well,
sign.
they're
yeah,
actually providing value. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I love when I get to use an agent like you, Jason, because I could basically tap into your network. Like getting to use an agent that's well networked, you get to just tap right into their contractors, their cleaners, everybody, which is awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, so
That's how I grew out my business, man. It was just like, hey, what do you need? How can, and I have three great investor questions that I always ask. Like, Mike, how can I help you grow your business in 2025? What are you looking to do? Right? Do you have any problem properties that you'd like to get rid of and get you something better? Right? Because then I've done a bunch of 1031 exchanges and stuff. Sometimes people are concerned with, paying capital gains and all that kind of stuff. So explain them through that process. Like everybody that's had multifamily stuff always has a problem property, right? So
all
Yeah.
the time.
one, get rid of.
You've probably got one, right, Jason? You've probably got
Yeah, I just got rid of a couple. One of them, I hope she's not watching. One of them was my sister-in-law lived in one. I sold that sucker.
It was the tenant. It really wasn't the property.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, I don't know. It's just time, right?
Yeah. Well, who's your property manager?
So now
Aha.
yeah, just I know, right? So now I just January, February, we just started the property management company, and I unloaded all my stuff, and now the property management company is managing all that stuff.
So that's a second brokerage, right? Yeah, right. You have to.
Yeah, so I have a partner with that. They have their own broker license, and that yeah, it's separate.
Yes, because I know they had to do it separate or something.
Yeah, eXp doesn't want property management, but you could buy into an existing property management company, and that's kind of what I did for that.
Sure. And so how many properties you guys managing now?
So we're literally just getting off the ground. I wanted
Yeah.
to put kind of the pieces in place before I started advertising it. So
Yeah.
one of the things that we have is like a 24/7 maintenance call center for any kind of maintenance requests. All the systems and processes, full-time admin, so then that way everything's on the up and up with tenants. But I wanted to make it where it's sweet and investor friendly, right? So a couple things that we did was we just hired a third-party CPA firm to give ROI reports and handle all the monthly distributions, so we could get the checks out to the landlords quick. Um, we did we do quarterly inspection walkthroughs. Make sure you don't have a meth lab in your place, right? So we'll do a video tour, and then we have our guys go out and do like a little on-site inspection of the property. Hey, is there anything that's broke? Holes in the walls, garbage, clutter, all that kind of stuff. So we're really trying to make it landlord friendly for that.
Yeah, that sounds great. Quarterly walkthroughs too.
Yeah. So with that quarterly walkthrough, do you think that's too much? Because I
I
I
like it.
try I tried it,
Yeah.
right? And it was becoming like a hassle,
It,
but
it,
I said I'm just checking my investment. That's really all I wanted to do. And it was like a big deal,
and
you
and
know?
so sure, it's kind of like herding cats when you're trying to get all these tenants together and everybody on the same schedule. We've seen that.
Yeah.
Some of them we don't have to do. Say if we just filled it, or if we were over there for a maintenance request and we kind of saw the general condition, then maybe we won't have to do it. But I like to do it, and I think one of the things, once you have so many properties, you always have in the back of your mind like, well, what's going on there, right? And just
I,
having that kind of peace of mind.
I
Yeah.
like the quarterly walkthrough. You should put
So
that on all your advertising. Quarterly walkthroughs.
so I
Yeah,
broke it. I went down to 6 months, but really the reason why I was doing it is just because they're not checking under the sink, the water leaks, right? So if I wait a year to check it, I'm screwed. I'm
yeah,
gonna have that mold. Everything's gonna start falling apart because they don't care. They really don't care. So I had a whole list from my handy guy to go quarterly, and man, it was just rough. So I went to 6 months, but it did help.
yeah. I mean, we're trying it with the quarterly right now, just to kind of keep
Keep your guy busy anyway.
keep the guy busy. Yeah, that's the next hire is going to be somebody full time. As we increase the unit count, that's going to be our next hire for sure.
Are you using any AI with this?
We use AI with the team and some of our CRM systems. It's pretty wild, some of the stuff that you could do in there. Not really AI with the property management stuff yet.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
but
I was gonna ask that because you have a tech background. If you were,
Yeah, I figured he's got, it's
yeah,
speaking to people.
yeah, my AI, I like it. It's one of those things like the plumber has the leaky pipes. After I got out of IT, it's like I don't even know how to turn my phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm staying away from it. So I'm like, oh man.
An update on my phone, no.
Yeah, man, it's gonna kill my apps. No, but AI, I like it for a couple things. One, we use it a lot with the team because it gets you out of your head when we're talking to leads or whatever. You could say, okay, write an intro for me right in the system, and it'll look at
Sure.
the whole call history. Okay, follow up, and it'll come up with what to say. We use it for listing descriptions. So if you see some of the listing descriptions that we have, hey, write a 400 character about 3 bed, 2 bath with a fenced-in yard and blah 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 area or
Yeah.
whatever, and makes us look like we're fucking Stephen King or something, some
I
kind of
feel
Yeah.
like all listing descriptions are AI. Like,
yeah,
it's like,
I start reading them. It comes with a beautiful scenery background. And I'm
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah,
that's not
yeah. If you
them.
see that, yeah, and like some social media posts, if you see a shitload of emojis, that's usually the
Yes,
key for
I take them out all the time. That gives them all away. I'm
no
like, "Ah,
emojis.
AI."
yeah.
No, they don't know what they're talking about. They just AI made it for them.
Here's some cool stuff for AI that's pretty sweet. Like ChatGPT, or mentioned that possibly getting your real estate license, right? So one of the things that you could do as an agent with ChatGPT is you could have it role play you, pretend like you're a buyer call, and then okay, be a tough buyer, and then you could role play the conversation, so you could kind of increase your sales skills with it. But for your real estate license, you could have it quiz you on the exam.
Oh,
If you don't do so well on the exam, you could actually upload your results and say, "Hey, quiz me on the areas that I didn't do so well in," and help you pass the exam if
yo,
you need to.
I'm gonna try that. I have my hours. I took the hours,
Yeah,
and I was just talking, Larry Del Grotto let me back in
he's
his
the
class.
man.
He's
Yeah,
like,
Larry's
"Mike,
the
just pay for the books, and that's all you gotta do." Do. Because he's
yeah,
the one that made me do it. Because he used to come to my meetup all the time.
yeah,
And, so I told him, "I'm not doing it. I'll just come and I'll pay you your 400 and something dollars to come sit in your damn class." But it's just sitting there. Now I should just take the test, I'm thinking. I was against it, but now I think I'm just gonna take the test.
yeah. Do
And,
ChatGPT. I got study guides and exam preps and stuff like that. If you wanted to, I could share that with you.
I just might go back to the class to network again
The
on
class
all
was
those new realtors. I end
that's where I got my license with Larry back in the
Oh,
day,
did you?
man.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's good. You
yeah.
got your broker license there too?
No, so when I got my broker license, everything was kind of shut down with COVID,
Yeah.
and I was just taking it on like an online school. It was actually up in Hazleton, so it was it made it a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah, Larry's trying to, I was teaching him how to do Zoom.
Oh
Uh,
man,
yeah,
yeah,
him and Nancy, I was hooking up their microphones, and, I go, "Stop driving to Pittsburgh. You just Zoom it."
yeah. He's
You
like,
know?
what? Yeah,
Yeah, so
he's not the most tech savvy.
well,
He's
not at
great.
his age. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't nobody knows how old he is.
no, no, he'll never admit it.
But
He's amazing though. We have him come in and he'll do our CE trainings and our license renewal stuff. I'll have him come in, and then agents could just come in here and he's amazing.
it's a crazy with the real estate book. I mean, he wrote half of it, I think.
Yeah,
He'll go to page 400, line 3, uh, section 8. And
he's
I'm
a
like,
beast, man. I tell
yeah, yeah.
everybody, I'm like, if you don't like, I can't learn online with like the spreadsheet or the PowerPoint presentations and the videos, man. I just don't have the attention span for it.
No,
So
I'll start playing on my phone, looking for a
yeah,
deal.
I had to be, I had to be in class to learn
Yeah.
it. And like I said, Larry is like, all right, highlight this, highlight this. This is exactly what you need to learn for the test. And
He
he'll
dresses
always
like
got,
Gilligan,
yeah.
right? He dressed up for you, Gilligan, or whatever he wears. He's crazy.
Yeah, he's wild. He said during COVID they were doing broker things, and they had like it looked like Dexter in his office. He had like all kinds of sheets and plastic wrap all over the damn place.
He's nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how Nancy puts up with him.
he's the
so
best.
just to wrap up, so Jason, like 27, you were listening to Dave Ramsey, and you're in a way different spot now than you were back then. Dave Ramsey, I think, is opposed to debt.
Yeah,
So, can you talk about that a little bit? Like,
yeah. At first, I was kind of against it as well, and I'm like, I want to be debt free, and I'm going to only pay stuff in cash, and this is going to be it. And then I realized like I get where he's coming from. A lot of a lot of people in America live paycheck to paycheck and really don't have that discipline to take on new debt. And I think that kind of starts the wheel spinning and gets people in predicaments that they don't like. Only debt that I have right now is on my real estate stuff. I don't owe anybody anything except for on my properties. I just don't like to owe anybody any money. But I'll get as many mortgages as my debt to income will allow, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I get where he's coming from with it. But anymore, it's like in order to scale, that it's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I did the same thing too. I saved up for my first rental property, and meanwhile, I could have took a loan out 10 other times. I would have had 20 properties, but I'm like, yeah, I bought my first house in cash.
Yeah.
I own it, and all my money's stuck in there. And another investor's like, "Dude, you own that? That your money's just sitting there, and you have one property."
Yeah.
You know, I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it wrong." You know,
I
but
thought the same way, man. I got so much equity still in some of these places that I bought. I'm like, I'm just going to cash out and refi them and then pull all that money together. And then you keep the asset as long as it's still cash flow and the numbers still make sense. I mean, it's a
yeah,
run.
tax-free money.
Yeah.
Buy something else.
Yeah. My tax guy's like, what is going on?
Yeah, my
What do you
account does not like me.
Oh, my God.
I just drive them crazy. I'm sure Jake's does too. You know,
No, I'm
anytime you're doing more than a few flips, you know, Jake's gonna be 20, 30. With new construction, we just hand them boxes and they're trying to, hey, I didn't see this in your bank, you know, because they're pulling the bank account also. Eh, it is what it
Do
is.
you have everything on QuickBooks or what do you guys do for that?
Yeah, I know. You know, then I buy some stuff personally.
I know
It's
I'm
it's got.
terrible.
He's like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Or I used a business card and I got
Yeah.
ice cream.
Yeah.
Right? I ain't
Yeah.
paying attention. I don't know. I just here.
Nah, yeah.
And then we get a message, an email. Hey, Mike, don't use that to get ice cream. And I'm like, I don't even know what credit card I used.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
Yeah, so
like I said,
I got two wallets now.
the,
That's it.
the more you grow, the more it's like trying to keep everything at bay and okay, asset allocation. Just, okay, this goes for this goes for that. I'm like, I'm paying people to do it anymore, man. I can't keep track of all that shit.
Yeah, we have a PO system, and then we have a Zoho Books, which is like QuickBooks, and it's all
Yeah.
rule based. So everything just automatically categorizes, and then the
Oh,
PO
nice.
separates it. So that helps a lot. And we
Yeah.
meet monthly with our accountant, and they go over everything every month.
That's my kryptonite, dude. Like the numbers and the tax side, I'm like I can't keep all that stuff organized. I was never big on that. I just like yeah, as soon as I could, I hired a third party CPA firm, and now they do
Yeah,
everything.
that's
Yeah.
the way to do it, as long as they're good. Well,
Yeah,
that was another question I had. Like the reason you started your own property management company, why was that? Was that because you couldn't find somebody that was good?
yeah. I'd always from working with so many investors, that would be the next actionable step. A lot of the municipalities around here, you have to live within a 25-mile radius in order to own properties. So they're like, could you manage them? I'm like, no, I can't manage them. I could give you somebody to manage, but I really didn't feel comfortable with like referring out any of the local property management companies. I just haven't heard good things. And kind of like we talked about, Jake, like I want to give you my word. I always say I only use people that I know, like, and trust, and that I personally use myself. So if I didn't use them and I'm not getting a good vibe, I don't want to refer it because then it's just going to come back on me.
Yep.
That's one of the hard parts with the contractors anymore, man. Some of these guys are fly by nights, and they were great, and then who knows what happens, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm like, hey man, you're supposed to show up to Susie's house and fix her thing. It's like, I forgot. It's like, dude, I can't give you business if you can't do the work. But
They're
yeah,
good for 2 or 3 projects.
yeah,
So you struggle with contractors as well, Jason.
I think it's the universal investor problem. There's always, I mean, I have good ones now. Knock on wood. Super pumped up with the ones that we have. One might be actually moving into that full time role as far as the property management, everyday guy. But yeah, it's always a trip, and you always have to have a bunch of them for every kind of task on speed dial because one goes and then the next one comes in, and then all of a sudden you don't hear from somebody. They go AWOL, and it's like, where the hell were you?
Yeah.
Is in
So,
rehab for 6 months. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
we know this. We know the stories.
yeah,
so it sounds like we were initially talking about syndication. So it sounds like you don't want to stop. You want to buy more rentals. What's your ultimate goal? How many, like, do you want to stay in this area completely? Do you want to expand outside of this area? You want to do syndications. Can you tell us more about that?
yeah. So we kind of talked about it with having leverage. So kind of what I'm trying to do now is free up my time, have the property management stuff, take that heavy lifting off for me personally managing all the units, right? Same thing with the team, having the team, I could leverage them out to work with some of my buyers and sellers, and that'll free up my time where I could just train up the team. So now with the new time that I have, I'm looking to grow to over 100 units. I want to get that this year. And then, like you said, have a fund with, maybe, I don't know if I want to have a ton of investors into it for right now, but maybe like a small group of people that I know that are going to consistently put money in for projects, and then just start finding deals. I think the goal too is you find the deal, you'll find the money. And so right now I'm trying to put everything together where I could start looking for more deals, and then yeah, going down that route. But 100 units by the end of the year is where I want to be. So we'll see what happens with it.
Awesome. And you want to have the property management in house, the sales team in house, everything
Yeah.
in house, basically.
Yeah. I
And
don't know.
those,
Did you guys ever hear the podcast Founders?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
was
Founders, man, it's been a game changer. But having all the vertical integrations with everything in house and being able to control all aspects of it is one of the big things that I'm looking to do. Uh, and like I said, having in-house management, maintenance, property management, where it's all plug and play. We have a title company, all that kind of stuff. Where we're gonna be adding a branch office to our local lender is going to be coming in here. So we're trying to vertically integrate everything in one-stop shop for everything.
That's
that's
awesome.
nice.
For
Yeah.
everyone listening, Founders by David Senra. That's a really good podcast.
Yeah, I started from one, and I'm on like 137 now. I think I'm. Who the hell am I listening to now? Oh,
Oh, you're listening to Mike and Jake show, but let's
oh
go.
yeah. That's right. In real time, it's
Yeah.
like Spaceballs. When will now be then?
No, that's a good podcast. I'm like, you should listen to it too. Is there any other podcasts or books or educational resources you get that help you?
So I'm always looking for, and from that founders, I have like a stack of books on these entrepreneurs. I'm like, so that's what I've been reading a lot more, business books, the Dan Sullivan books, Who Not How, 10x is
Hmm.
easier than 2x. I really enjoyed those books. Right now I'm kind of in like a lull. If I read too many business books or self improvement books in a row, I gotta change it up. So I'm actually reading this one about the biggest heads up poker game ever lasted or whatever. It's about a banker. He goes to Vegas, and he's playing like Doyle Brunson and all these poker pros, and like he's just this rookie, and he's playing them for like 15 million or something like that. So that's the book there. But he's like going into these rooms and playing heads up against like all these people that you see on TV, like the Brunsons and all these like mega pros. And I like the idea of it. He's like, you're never going to get better playing against people that are worse than you. So he goes and he plays against the best in the world, and it just increases his game. So I don't know what happened with it. Don't spoil it, but I have to change it up a little bit on what I'm listening to and what I'm reading right now.
Yeah. And so, why do you think that vertically integrating everything is the way to move forward?
Just having control over things. I always tell like the team, it's you could use whoever you want as a preferred vendor, a lender, title company, whoever you want. The problem with that is like, once shit hits the fan, how are you going to find, right now I could go downstairs, knock on the door of the title company and be like, hey, what's up with this? Same thing that I want to do with the lending arm. But when you have no control of stuff, that's where you get yourself into a pickle. And say if you need some help with something, the more business they give to people, the more likely they are to help you if you need it. Hey, we need a couple bucks off the top of this one. The buyer went out and bought furniture. Now they don't have enough money to close. It's like, all right, well, if we want to keep the deal alive, everybody got to chip in.
Yeah.
So you like control. That's what
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah. I mean, maybe it is when I was in the IT job, right? So I'd work for literally thousands of different businesses, going from one business company to the other, and kind of you were like a line item on a spreadsheet, right? And I saw that in my big, it was a big Japanese culture that at Canon, and it was like pretty structured, and you were capped on what you could do, and even if you like, I was the top guy for a lot of years but I was still making the same amount of money, and I'm like, so one of the things when I did go full-time real estate was just having the control and freedom of my time and what I wanted to do and how I was going to control my life. So, yeah. And now anymore with all the businesses and stuff, I'd like to have. I'm open to partnerships, so I don't want to make it seem like a dictatorship or anything like that. But I want to just be able to, work with people that I want to work with and have fun doing it.
Jason's the king.
I'm the king.
I,
I'm the ball king.
Yeah.
I think the only way you get good quality assurance is by having some type of
Control.
control. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and that's
that's
it.
I
That's
think
it.
that's a smart move. I think that's
Yeah.
a good. Yeah,
Quality control, like you said, you're flipping X amount of houses, right? Being able to control who you have doing what and when, and keeping the control of your expenses is key, right? So, I mean, if you have other people that are doing that and they don't have your best interest in hand, right? You're paying, when you first start out and you're paying these contractors hourly instead of by job, you're like, oh, you learn fast. Like, okay, I need to have more control over, you know, your P and L. Like I'm not a big flipper. I only flipped a couple houses, but like you said, just having that control over, the end product too, right? At the end of the, the vision that you want for what the house should look like and what it should sell for. So just having that control of getting everything done on that timeline, I mean, yeah, it's super valuable for you.
So why don't you flip? Because you know all that. You know how houses are selling and what they
Yeah,
should look like, and I don't know. You got the teams.
I have the teams. I could do it. I'm more of a buy and hold guy. I start shaking when I have to sell stuff off. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
shouldn't have sold those two that I sold this year. I'm still kicking myself. I'm like, and just I don't know. I was just never one to get rid of it. I'd rather fix it up and then just rent it out and keep
Just
it.
hold it.
Yeah, just hold it forever. Anymore,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to sell anything that I got.
Wow.
Except I bought my mom's house. She's getting to be a pain in the ass with some of these leaks. I might have to sell it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Mom, I'm gonna evict you, and
Yeah, get out, mom.
yeah,
No Sunday gravy for me.
yeah, definitely.
but with
Let's. Oh, go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
just real quick with the growing, it sounds like you're growing multiple companies at once, and you've got 22 people under you right now. Um, what have you done like to help be a better manager? What is your management style? I guess is what I'm asking. Like maybe you
Um, yeah, that's a good question. One of the things that I realized once I left that corporate world is just to be me, right? I'm a t-shirt and flip-flops kind of guy. I was at first I was suit and tie and all that kind of stuff, and it just wasn't authentic. So what you see is what you get from me. I mean, you were at some of the investor meetups. I mean, the way that we BS in here on the show is kind of just the way that we BS and help. But I'm the older I get, I'm 45 now. I just want to give back and help. When I first started as an agent, I got like an hour of buyer training, an hour of seller training. They're like, figure it out. I'm like,
Yeah.
so I bring on newer agents, and I want to make sure that they know exactly what to do and how to do it. So, actually, doing our onboarding class tonight, 6 to 9. We've been doing it all week long. So, just kind of trying to make it happen when I could.
yeah, yeah. So would you say you're more like what's the best way you found to train people? Like is it in a classroom setting? How do you train people usually?
Yeah. So from having that IT background and being a trainer and showing people how to use that equipment, and so I have all kinds of different systems and processes. So I don't know if you're familiar with Teachable. So I have an online academy with all
Yeah. Yeah.
videos and stuff where the team could go in there and learn self-paced if they have like maybe if they're working a full-time job and they can't come into the meetings. But I like to do stuff belly to belly, face to face. But I'll record our meetings if people can't make it. I'll have everybody come into the office and like I have the whiteboard behind me. I'm like a whiteboard junkie. I'm always on there like fucking Bob Ross on that sucker drawing all over the place. But yeah, I mean that's my motto, and I'm very detailed oriented and very specific with the training. So we like to process everything right down to the T. So literally from when you get a new call coming in or you're making your sales call, from your intro to handling objections to asking good questions to get your sales guard down. So then that way you get people to open up on what they're looking to do, and then find out what their motivation is, right? I say it's not random. I'm not just calling strangers from the freaking internet. They I always tell people, like, put your hands up, type your name, your email, your phone number, and then hit send. That's not an accident. There was intention there. We just have to find out what they were looking to do. So so we find out what that motivation is, and then we have a value prop. Why should they meet with us? How can we get them off the couch watching Netflix and eating bonbons and change their routine where they'd actually want to come and physically meet with us? So we have a value proposition and why they should. And then we want to set firm appointments 24 to 48 hours within the first time that we talk to them. 70% of people go with the first agent they meet. Let that be you, right? So we teach that. And then we have a whole process from tracking appointment set to appointment met. Appointment met, we do our buyer consultation. Then we talk about the buyer agency stuff like we talked about before. And then we show them houses. No showings unless you do this whole process first. Because what happens is you go from calls to showings and you're so excited that, the house sucks, then you suck. And you didn't provide any value the whole time, so why should they call you back?
Yeah.
Right? So then we do showings and we have a whole thing. That's what I'm going to be training on today. And then top 10 ways to structure your offer for success. And then it's all just rinse and repeat. So I train each step of that process.
Okay, so that's your sales process basically. And do you have KPIs that you look for, like when you're?
So with the team, we do have some KPIs that we're tracking. Everybody's 1099 independent contractors, right? So at the end of the day, it's your business, and what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. But some of the metrics that we like to track is how many 2-minute conversations have you had every week. We'd like to have a weekly number at least 20 of them. Why? Because if you have 20 every single week, that's 80 new people that you're talking to every month. I could tell you if you have 20 2-minute combos every week, that should get you around a deal and a half to 2.5 deals a month. With your team splits and everything, that'll make you around 60 grand a year as an agent, which is more than the median income here. If you do 3.5, then you're making 100K. So, but it all starts back to the conversations. And then with our CRM, it gives you points for how many calls, texts, and emails that you do. We have like a leaderboard for that, and then every month we have like the WWF belt, but we have the UFC one for our ultimate follow up champ. So whoever has the most points in our database every month gets the belt.
Awesome, that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. So we keep it fun.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So basically, you're able to work backwards from their goals and figure out like, hey, if you want to make 100K a year, this is what you have to do.
Yeah, yeah. I like to train on, like, real estate's just a math game. Everything else is drama, right? I know if you make 100 calls, you should have about 10 2-minute conversations as you get good at it. But I always say, like, it's like playing sports. You guys play sports when you're growing up,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right? What'd you play?
Me,
everything.
football, baseball,
Football, right?
track.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So football, good analogy, right? The first day that you went to practice, you probably stunk at it. You didn't know all the rules. You didn't know how to put your pads on. You didn't know how to do anything, right? So first day of practice, not so good. Next day of practice, you know how to put your pads on. You know kind of what's going on with some of the drills. And then every day you're going to get better and better at it. I always tell them, man, you're going to stink at it first till you get better. You're not going to come into the gym, play basketball your first day and be dunking on fools, right? You have to. There's a progression that goes along with it. So I train up on that and I say, hey, expect to stink at first, and then you're going to get better, and then you're going to stink less, and then you're going to get better. And then I could coach them through their calls and all that kind of stuff and say, hey, look, your opener wasn't good. You hesitated with it. People thought you were spam and they hung up on you. So you want to be firm and direct and to the point when you're making your calls. All right. From your opener, you should expect objections. You're calling strangers out of the blue, right? Have 4 or 5 different objection handlers ready to go from whatever you said as your opener. Right. So if you said, oh, you're just looking great, what are you looking for? An investment property or primary residence? Right. So you're always finishing your sentence with a question. Then that way it brings off the law of reciprocity where they're going to be more likely to answer you. And the longer you get through the conversation, you get that sales guard down, that sales skepticism, and then just find out what they're actually looking to do and just helping people.
I
Yeah,
love it. I feel
I
like
love
so
it too.
many
That's
agencies don't
nice.
have a sales process, and
What's that?
I feel like so many brokerages don't have a sales process.
Nobody's doing what we're doing. What I'm
No,
putting into place
when
is
you say that, I'm
it's
like, oh my
crazy.
god,
Jason,
you must
I
work for
believe you
him.
because I deal with a lot of other brokerages and realtors, and so does Jake. And
Yeah.
that's the difference. You know, that an investor could work with you, and then you got 22 other people that you're educating the right way also.
Yeah, and I tell people, man, when you're showing houses, don't be like fucking Vanna White. It's not like, oh, here's the kitchen, here's the bathroom. It's like, no shit. It's like
Yeah.
give them something of value. It's like, hey man, if you fix this thing up, you could get like investor wise, you could get $1,000 a month at least for this 2 bedroom. Look at the utility situation right now. They're footing the bill for the heat. It's gas heat. If we separate that, put electric baseboard in, now we're offsetting all the utility costs onto the tenant, and that's going to increase your ROI. Like stuff like that, where you're constantly providing value, is just the way to go.
So say I list a 4 unit with you. Do you put that together for all your people?
Yeah, yeah.
Type of
So
thing. So here's a breakdown. This is why this is a great property. Instead
yeah,
of them
yeah.
just going in there, a newbie that knows
Hmm.
nothing really about, yeah, it's great. It's got electric heat. Great. That's a
Yeah,
great selling point.
yeah, yeah. So I actually have a pretty sweet 3 unit that I just put on the market. It's a unique 3 unit though. It's not like a super
Let me hear it.
investor. It's it's down by Wilkes College, but it's like
Oh,
one of those old, beautiful, like I mean,
Victorian type of house, or
yeah, like classy, man, like super high ceilings, hardwood floors. It's
can you
just
rent it by the room there for students?
this one's only 2 bedroom on each one.
Mhm.
But I just sold my first student housing to one of my clients. He just got hooked up with it. Here's the tip for student housing. If anybody's looking to get into this, and it's beautiful. Talk to the sports team coaches, right? He got in, and he has the girls soccer team. It's not like the guys football team where they're
Yeah, he's
fucking
staying
beer
away from
pong
the
and
football
stuff, and
players and wrestlers. Yep.
yeah, throwing each other through fucking tables or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, like get yourself with a sports team like that. And what he does is incentivizes them. The seniors going out for the freshmen coming in. Anybody that they fill their spots, he gives them like a little bit of a $100 credit or whatever.
Sure.
A little bonus.
That's pretty neat. I like
Yeah,
Yeah.
that.
If you're in
yeah,
the student housing game, you got to go above and beyond
yeah.
because
Yeah, that's smart. And I would pick the girls. You just got to be careful with what they throw in those toilets. But
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
No,
I don't know if I want that or fixing drywall.
I know for sure. You want to fix holes in the wall, or you want to fix the septic line because it's all.
everybody always says that students are so much worse than like other tenant types, but I don't know if that's true. I
You know
don't know.
what? And they're guaranteed. The landlord's guaranteed by the parent,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
And you get a fat security deposit too.
they
Yeah,
yep, and they take it. My son's punch holes in the wall like I don't know, like The Price is Right when you got to punch, so many
yeah,
numbers. I was like, dude, where are all these holes? He's like, Dad, you guys can't fix it. I go,
yeah,
it's too late. The property manager walked through. They said, no, they're fixing it.
yeah,
And they just took all their deposit, my deposit.
yeah,
I've had
yeah.
regular residents punch holes in the wall too, though. So,
Oh yeah,
you know.
I
in
always
fact,
say,
I punched a hole in a wall in my own house.
I always say, what kind of problems do you want? The more successful you get and all that kind of stuff, you're going to start having some big boy, big girl problems, right? We all do. Do you want to deal with tenants, or do you want to just stay comfortable where you're at? Right? Everybody thinks, oh, I don't want to fix a toilet. I don't want to do this and that. It's like, well, what kind of problems do you want? You're going to have problems with wherever you're going. I'd rather scale and have, you know, big boy problems than just be comfortable where I'm at and just trying to coast through life.
Yeah,
Well, Jason, they don't even have to deal with the tenants. They can just hire you.
That's
So,
right.
exactly.
One
yeah.
stop shop, brother. That's what we're trying to do.
Why worry? Just take it out of my my check at the end of the month.
That's it. Yeah, I
That's
got
the
a
way to
couple of
go.
those guys that were
Everyone
managing.
listens. That's the way to go.
Jason, what's the name of your property management team? Or you don't want to say?
Keystone, no, Keystone Property Management. We're finally ready to let people know what we're doing, and like I said, I want to make it where if it's apples to apples, and you're looking at what other property management companies can provide and what we're looking to provide, we want to be A+, man. So,
Yeah,
and we're going to grow up pretty quick.
and
So
you're
you
an owner
offer
that
you offer quarterly inspections, and where what service area do you coverage, and how much does it cost?
So we're Luzerne, Lackawanna County. We will give discounts for volume. So if you are going to unload a bunch of units on us, we'll work with you on the fees. But I mean, we're pretty standard with the fees as far as competitive with other property management companies, 10-12%, depending on what you're looking to do. Maybe a discount if you have a bulk that you want to talk about, and we could. I'm a businessman.
sure.
to negotiate. So if you
Let's
say,
talk.
hey, I'm going to give you 50 units, give me the X amount of percentage, I'll be like, all right, let's talk.
Yeah.
What's your price for leasing up a unit?
So leasing is first month's rent, and sometimes you get kickback on that, but the first month rent, um, half of it covers like the landlord side, preparing all the leases, doing all the screening, all that kind of verification for any tenants. The other half of that's going to go to the agent that finds the tenant for it, right? So they'll do the marketing of the property, collect all their documents and all that kind of stuff, and they get the other half. So that's how we separate it.
And that will include background check and everything in that first month.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we're super big on. I don't want to give you a warm body. Our process takes a lot longer than any other company, right? So we do background, credit, eviction check. We verify their last 2 months of pay stubs. We verify employment. We talk to previous landlords that they have, and we like to put as many hoops as we can because we know if they're willing to jump through all those hoops, you're going to get a better quality of a tenant.
Okay.
Yeah, man, you'd be surprised. I had people fudge their pay stubs, and we verify stuff, and we try to catch them before. I mean, if they blatantly lie on an application, there's only so much we could do. But I mean, we want to match identification. You'd be surprised how many people don't even want to provide their IDs. When we're
Yeah.
and some people don't even ask for it. They just let them, put the tenant screening stuff through, and it's like, hey, did you see that this is Mike and this is Mike's ID, or it says Mike on there, and Jake's applying.
Did you
Yeah.
see that they're trying to get rid of eviction history in PA? They're trying to,
No, I didn't see that.
yeah, they're trying to
Yeah,
make it so that like evictions don't show up on your record.
yeah,
That's not cool.
that is definitely not cool. And the reason why I always say, if you have an eviction on your record, that's an absolute no go. I don't care about the story. The reason is, it's not like you just get evicted. You get served a 10-day notice. Then you have a hearing. Then you have XYZ to appeal, and then you have all this kind of stuff.
Goes for months.
Yeah, it could go for months. And if you're willing to put somebody through that to get that finally on your record, you'll do it again. Right. So yeah, no, that's an automatic no for
Yeah,
us.
because they're professional at that. That's what they do. They'll stay
Yeah.
at a place, they'll pay the first month, whatever, then they'll do that for 6 months, and then they'll go on and
Yeah.
on and on.
Hmm.
Yeah, the people trying to pass this law have never dealt with professional tenants.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm like, these guys must be from Jersey or New York making these laws,
Yeah,
man.
it is.
Craziness.
Hey, I'm a New
Yeah,
Yorker, so let's go
it's
calm
No,
down.
come.
no, I love New York, but I got so many people from New York with all this stuff that's going on there, where they're like, man, I'm moving all my units to PA because it's
Yeah,
just,
and they're bringing, but the politics are coming here too. So it's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, they're stamping that with them.
yeah.
yeah.
Do you see
So
any new trends in real estate up here in Northeast PA?
I think it's probably going to start trending towards more of a buyer's market.
Mhm.
Buyers have a lot more leverage in the negotiations than I've seen in the last couple of years. Um, I, I think that's going to be a trend. I think once interest rates start going, I think we're going to have a bigger buyer pool. Things are going to be more affordable. It's kind of like the catch 22 when I'm talking to my buyers. Do you want to get the house now at the higher rate and less competition, or do you want the rates to go down and then you're going to be paying more for the house and have more competition over that same house?
That's right.
So it's the catch 22 on that. But I think as the rates go down and things become a little bit more affordable, and who knows what's going on with the Fed, but I think that might be coming sometime this year.
Yeah, they're saying maybe September, maybe who
September,
knows,
yeah,
or the
Yeah,
end of the year. I
yeah.
yeah.
mean,
So you're seeing it's turning into more of a buyer's market right now.
I think they have a lot more leverage now with their offers. Before, like you said, there just wasn't a lot of inventory. There's still inventory is kind of flat, but that seller's market where the prices are starting to kind of flatline and plateau. I don't know if you guys see it when you guys are running your ARVs.
I'm seeing
Um, what's that?
I'm seeing it a lot. I'm seeing it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everybody I'm talking to is seeing it too. So
Yeah, I mean, we had a nice little spike on purchase prices, and I think it was probably about 5-10% every year increase, 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 and I think it's kind of plateauing there. And I think with that, like I said, making that switch over to the buyer's market.
it's
yeah,
okay. It could just flatline. I just don't want it to drop.
I
Now,
hope it gets bad. I hope it gets real bad, and then I'm gonna buy up everything, man.
I
Everyone
mean, that's the thing. It's the opportunity. And we were talking about that founders podcast. It's like, buy when people are selling, sell when people are buying. If you
Yep.
just do that, you're going to separate yourself from every other investor, and you're just going to clean up.
Yeah. Jason, how do we, you listen to the Founders podcast, you run a brokerage with sales process. I got to get connected with you outside of this podcast. So how do people get in touch with you, and how do I connect with you?
Yeah. I mean, if you guys want, I give you my cell phone here. Feel free to call, text me anytime. My number is 570-793-1232. You guys are more than welcome to give me a buzz. I'm always, Mike was at a lot of the meetups that we do. I'm just here to help. I answer, try to give value back, and anything that I can do to help people grow their business. I want to see more entrepreneurs. I like seeing people get out of that rat race where they're in a job that they hate or a career that they don't like, and they want to make the jump to a little bit more financial freedom, a little bit more independence of career path. I'm all for that, and I want to help people get out of that as fast as they can.
And the same with if there's any real estate agents that want to switch over and join with you.
Yeah, hit me up. I mean, they
You'll
can
take you'll take them whether they're new, know anything about investing in real estate. You'll just train them.
Yep, I train them on everything. The whole process for working with buyers, whole process for working with sellers, whole process for working with investors. It's all different skill set
And
for each
and
one.
and that's
Well,
awesome, especially for jumping into EXP.
well, I'll say something. I think if you start out in real estate without a sales process, I think it ruins you. I think it's like destroying your expectations. If you go a few years and you don't have a sales process, but if you start and you get set on a sales process, and that's like your introduction to real estate, you're going to be successful.
Yeah,
So,
and that's one of the reasons that I do it. There's an 80% fail out rate for agents. A lot of it's because they don't get any help when they first get started. Second, they don't realize that it's a sales job where you need to consistently be prospecting and putting people in your pipeline to help buy, sell, or invest in real estate. So two of the biggest things I want to eliminate, we provide all the opportunities and leads and all that kind of stuff for people that are on the team. And then you get enough training. The goal of the team is not to keep you on the team forever. Eventually it's fly, little birdie, fly, and then I'm your business partner and help you grow and scale whatever you want to do after that too. So
Sure.
yeah, and then
It's
you
it's a
can invest in my syndication.
yeah.
yeah,
It's
that's
a
it.
good stepping stone,
Yeah.
and
And that's one of the things that I've been thinking of. One of my coaches, he has something in house where the people on his team could invest in deals, and everybody kind of ponies up a little bit, and then it's all just the team's buying this property, and then that's pretty cool. I saw him do that. I'm like, oh man,
That
well,
would be cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see what baby steps. I gotta get this fun together.
One second, real quick. The phone number 570-793-13
1232.
1232. Okay. And is that the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Yep, my personal cell. Call, text me anytime. If I don't get back to you, I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Jake,
And
he
what?
gets back pretty quick.
Yeah,
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 got a
yeah.
sales.
I
that's
don't mess
important.
around. My wife's like, I don't. I have people on the team like, how do you handle all the stuff that you do? They're like going crazy with just their real estate business. They're like, how do you do all this other stuff? I'm like, I honestly, man, my goal in life is just to help as many people as I can before I croak. And anybody that needs any kind of help, that's all I'm looking to do. So, if it takes some time for me out of my day to help somebody out, I don't give a shit. I want to help people. So.
And where's your office located?
Our office right now, I'm in it. That's where you probably hear a little bit of an echo. I bought the old First National Bank in Avoca.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's nice.
Oh, that's
yeah,
I want to buy a bank. That's
dude.
great.
Yeah, it was on my bucket list. I feel like a pimp in this.
I have to come down there and see this.
You're gonna have to see it. The
I,
vault
I'm,
where
I
they
am going to
stored
come
all
down.
the cash is where we store like our signs and our lock boxes and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty wild.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, it's right
That's
in
neat.
Avoca, right next to Boozer's Bar down right on Main Street. We're right here.
Wow.
Do you know
That's
Avoca well, Jason?
Do I know Avoca well?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we've been here like 2-3 years.
Okay. I might have a listing for you. I'm
Uh,
about to do a flip down there. So
yeah, I like it. I got a couple listings that are going to be coming up in Avoca. I just sold one right around the corner. I mean, I always say it's like a Bermuda Triangle right where we are. We're like in Pittston, Duray,
yeah.
Avoca. It's all like this, like yeah.
That's
what
cool.
do you think about that area? I feel like that area is still more in demand.
I love it, man. I think it's a great area. You're close to 81, quick on and off. That's why I bought this as our Scranton Wilkes-Barre office, because you could easily get here. My 8 units right in Pittston. I have a 3 unit right behind the office here. I have a 4 unit in Pittston. I love the area, especially Pittston, man. With the railroad system, who knows what's going to happen with that? But they revitalized that whole downtown down there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of restaurants, bars, all kinds of stuff to do. People like it.
But
That's why I
they're
live in.
strict with rentals,
Oh yeah, they've been on
right?
me
It's
for
all,
yeah.
yeah, you're only allowed one person per bedroom, correct?
Two
And
people per bedroom.
oh, now it's okay. They told me it was two for the master bedroom or whatever you want to technically call that, the
Yeah,
primary bedroom,
yeah,
Yeah, it's
and
kind of
then and then the single bedrooms, I was only allowed one, and they're just trying to keep all that crap out of it, and I get it, you know.
yeah, yeah. Like with the 4 unit that I had, they were like, "Oh man, there's garbage on the side." I'm like, "People were moving out. I had to freaking go to court for it." I'm like, "Guys,
Yes, I got fined in Pittston. We're doing a flip, and the garbage was there before I even bought it.
yeah,
I buy it. He finds us the next day.
yeah." They
He
don't
goes,
mess
"It's been
around.
sitting there for 30 days." I said, "I owned it for a day."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
had
like, "Dude, you tagged the main door of the building." I go, "Somebody
yeah, I
probably
don't wanna
grabbed
say the
it."
guy's name. Everybody knows this guy, but yeah, they're rough.
Yeah. Hey, I
Yeah.
want, like I said, I want to
He
do
works for
everything on the up and up. So, like I said, they were super helpful trying to get all the pieces to Humpty Dumpty to get that fire escape put together.
Yeah.
And, I'm just glad that
And
part's
you're
over.
Italian, so that helps the
That's
whole
right.
Pittston thing.
Yeah,
So, hey, Goomba.
that's for sure.
All right, I guess we're gonna wrap it up at this point. We've been on for a while. Unless, Jake, you have any more questions or something you'd like to tell us, or
no, I could keep going, but
I know,
I
me too. I mean, if you wanna keep going, I'll go.
well, we should check back in a year and see if you're at your 100 unit goal.
I like it. Yeah, let's definitely do it again. It was a lot of fun, guys. More than happy to jump on the show.
Tell us, your network event, right? Because now it's on Zoom only.
So we did the NEPA Investment Club. We do the last Thursday of every month. We do a Zoom now. If you want access to that, we have a Facebook group, and you could ask for an invite for that. But we post in there, just kind of educating, informing people on investing in real estate. We have some off market deals, and people always have stuff going on, and just
I
here to learn.
just I waited 30 minutes to get on in there last week.
So that's when I was in Spain, and Tara was going to do it. So I didn't even ask her whatever
I
happened
told
with
Tara, I said, "Tara," I'm texting her, I said, "I'm here. I'm waiting."
yeah,
And then I was like, "It's 30 minutes. I'm giving up.
yeah.
I'm
I,
going to the casino."
I'm gonna have to ask her what happened with that, because
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't in the country for that one. I thought I
Yeah.
gave
Oh,
her
that's right.
access to it. So yeah, that one might have bombed out. But
Yeah.
Was it
yeah, and then we're gonna try to do 2 live in person events every year.
Yeah,
Just to
I
get
like the
together.
live. That's how I met you, and
Yeah,
I appreciated it,
I like the live too, and I don't know if it was just the venue at the art house where it was kind of just the same people, and they thought maybe opening up to Zoom could get people that might not be able to make in person events. So, we're pretty new to it. It's only like 2 or 3 months that we've been
Let
doing
me ask you
that.
something.
But
Do you before we get off, do you have any venues that could host a bigger event?
what are you looking for?
I'm looking to do like a little expo with
Yeah.
Jake.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking for a venue place, maybe put 50 vendors, have a couple of rooms where we could split off and have panels and
Mm. Yeah. Let me do some digging on that, because I can find you guys a spot for that.
dig.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be centrally located so people, I don't want them driving down back roads. I don't want it a pizza place.
Yeah. Yeah. There. Um,
I know you know a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Depending on the number of people that you have, I mean, Breaker Brew,
what's
they
that?
have a pretty cool outside little venue thing where you could do like a little happy hour type thing
No,
there.
we probably need bigger.
Yeah, um,
Well, just think about it. We don't have
yeah,
to.
Yeah.
yeah,
people on people on YouTube are just sitting like, all right, what
yeah,
else?
yeah.
But hey, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you coming on. I'll see you before next year. I'm actually
For
going to come
sure.
down to your bank.
Yeah, come
Yeah,
down, man.
I'm,
Stop
I'm,
by, see what
I'm
we have
definitely going to
going
come
on.
down.
If you guys want to get licensed, or you guys want to just sit and BS, man, I love just talking real estate
Yeah,
and
I like to
talking
talk.
talking business stuff.
I like to talk to you about your fund, and I like to talk to you about modular
Yeah, no, for sure.
and new
Yeah, I'm super
constructions
pumped
and
on
shit.
that. With
Yeah,
the development side and the syndication side is kind of where the wheels are turning right now.
yeah,
So we'll see
and
how it goes.
I'll take you with some of the properties I'm doing now, so you can see them. But
Nice.
yeah, awesome.
All right,
Uh,
guys. Appreciate you
thank you.
guys having me. Have a great day.